everybody, this is Faith from faithsbizacademy.com. Welcome to the Ask Me Anything video series, and in this particular video I'm going to talk about product creation. Now, before I dive in, let me just give you a brief introduction of myself. I'm Faith. I'm the owner of faithsbizacademy.com. I am also a certified business strategist, and my mission is to help online entrepreneurs build a thriving online business through selling easy to create digital products and effective sleaze-free email marketing. So how did this Ask Me Anything series come about? So recently I polled my email subscribers and I asked them for feedback, and in that feedback form I welcomed them to actually ask me a single business question. And we've collated over 140 business questions. We've categorized them into 7 categories, and in this particular one I'll be answering all the questions asked relating to product creation. So let's dive into the first question. How do you decide what to create, and how do you not overthink while creating? Okay, so how do you decide what to create? It really boils down to the foundation, which is how well do you actually understand your target audience, right? You first have to have a good understanding of who your target audience is, what kind of profile, what are their interests, and more importantly, what do they struggle with, and what kind of solutions are they looking for, and the type of solutions that you specifically can provide. So you have to have a good understanding of who they are, what they struggle with. Then that will help you decide on what products you can create, right? Because you want to meet their needs. It's simple economics, right? When there is demand and the supply, well, then there is a sale, okay? So, but knowing what to create has to boil down to understanding your audience, okay? So if you ask me, how do you decide what to create? Then I'll have to ask you back, how well do you actually understand your target audience? You have to first have a clear understanding of who they are, what they want, and also what you can create, what you can offer, right? Because we want to tie in our passion, our interests, as well as our own experience and expertise, use that to our strengths to create products and services that we can offer to our audience that meet their needs. Okay, so it's not just about understanding what they want and the type of solutions that they're looking for. It's also whether are you able to provide their product or service. Okay, so you have to first understand who your target audience is. And then how do you not overthink while creating? I think in one of my previous Ask Me Anything on business mindset, so I actually said that, I was driven by this whole starting an online business thing was driven by the desperation of trying to make money while I'm staying home and taking care of 3 children. So I really, really hope to be able to just make some side income while staying home and being the main caregiver to my 3 young children. So that motivation to make sales helped me not to overthink. There was also recently another client who asked me when she should publish her website because it's brand new. She has placed it under construction, so to speak, and the blog posts that she has written are still not yet published. So to put it very bluntly, but not in an offensive manner, it's actually, we are overthinking because the truth is nobody's going to see our website. Nobody's going to see our WordPress website unless we tell them to, unless we share with them the URL. For new websites, nobody's going to see it unless you send the URL to somebody to ask them to hey, check this out. Because otherwise, the Google SEO is going to take several months to take effect, right? So the minute you publish it, don't sweat it because fortunately or unfortunately, nobody's gonna see it, okay? So that is actually the best time to just get started and not overthink and really just get your content out there. You can always come back and tweak things. Whether it's blog posts, you can always switch things out. You can change the content, you can rewrite parts of it. You can change out the images, you can even unpublish it, stuff like that, right? So same thing, don't overthink because once you create it, nobody sees it. Right? And you have to have somebody to see it before the criticisms come in. But what is the worst that can happen? You create a product and it doesn't sell. That is the worst that can happen. It doesn't mean your business is gonna be a disaster. It doesn't mean that's the end of your online business journey, right? And you're not gonna be physically hurt. So that is the worst case scenario. If you keep getting stuck in overthinking things, try to ask yourself, what is the worst that can happen? I know it sounds really scary, but actually it's not. Okay, it's not that scary. In my opinion, the worst that can happen is that nobody buys something that you create. That is the worst that can happen. But that does not mean that your business is going to be a disaster, okay? We can always find learning points even from a sale that flopped, okay? Even from a product that did not make any sales, because then, well, it means that perhaps we did not have we do not yet have a clear understanding of who our audience is and what they want, and therefore we created something that is not in demand, and therefore what for have the supply, right? So even if you created something and it ended up to be a complete flop and nobody buys it, it's okay. It's still not the end of the world. It's actually a lesson learned that, well, this is not what you want, or the price could be too high, or you're basically not attracting the right audience. There's so many other factors, but it is not the end of the world. So don't overthink it. Once you create it, start finding ways to promote it and getting it in front of your audience, because otherwise you're not going to be making any sales either. Okay, imagine you have spent hours or days or even weeks at your computer, planning, thinking, getting excited over your idea, and then finally creating something. And then just keeping it on your cloud or on your computer and nothing is happening. Well, if nothing is happening, then there's definitely not going to be any sales, right? Then what for spend all that time and effort doing it? So please don't overthink, just get it out there. The worst is there's no sales, but we learn and we pivot and then we adapt, okay? Everything can be a learning lesson. Everything can be tweaked, can be adapted, can be improved, all right? So just launch it and promote it, okay? Next question. What's the best way to come up with unique products to sell? I don't necessarily think that products need to be very unique. My favorite example is actually talking about Pinterest marketing courses. There are dozens of Pinterest marketing courses out there, and yet there are still so many people buying Pinterest marketing courses. Now, I created and sold a Pinterest marketing course before, but I stopped selling it because I haven't been actively doing Pinterest marketing. So I feel like I'm not qualified to teach on Pinterest marketing anymore, and therefore I retired that course. But even as a Pinterest marketing or a ex-Pinterest marketing course creator, I have also personally bought different Pinterest marketing courses way before I created my own. Okay, so why then did I create my own? Because I tested my own things, right? And therefore my course taught people the exact steps that I did and that worked for me. And now, yes, there could be different ways for people for Pinterest marketing to work. Right? There are different success stories, and there's so many different ways to learn from different people. And even if they're teaching about the exact same topic, because each of us have different personalities, we end up creating courses that are different, even though they all fall under Pinterest marketing courses. Okay, and there's always that sense of FOMO. There's always that feeling like, oh, I want to learn from her, I want to learn from him, I want to learn from them. Because I think I'm missing out something, because they're each doing something different, and I want to learn from different people so that I can hopefully grab the best bits from everybody, right? So in that sense, there is no real need to create a particularly unique topic or unique product. Back to the example where I use Pinterest marketing course. Now, because of our different personalities and our experiences and our expertise, which differ, the course that we come up with will be different. Okay, our focuses will be different, and every one of us can bring something different to the table. And therefore, like I said, it's actually not necessary, in my opinion, it's not necessary to come up with a unique product. Okay, there is a reason why people are selling Pinterest marketing courses, because people are buying Pinterest marketing courses, and chances are people buy more than one Pinterest marketing course. Okay, so don't worry so much about coming up with a groundbreaking idea. Okay, sometimes it's best to actually just see what is already trending in the market, what already sells, and come up with something based on your perspective, your experience, and what you're good at. Okay, so that is how you come up with unique products not something totally groundbreaking, new ground that nobody has ever stepped into before. You could actually just use something that's already existing in the market. But the question is, how can you do better? How can you bring in your own perspective, your own experience, your own strengths to create something in the same niche, in the same topic, but better because of the value that you bring? Okay? And the other thing is back to what's the best way to come up with products to sell. Once again, it always falls back to the foundation, which I said just now. How well do you understand your target audience? Next question. I am a bit intimidated by AI. I would like to know how to create gorgeous floral clip art using AI. If this can be done in Canva, that would be great. Unfortunately, this is not really a Canva tutorial. I will try to create a separate Canva tutorial for you, hopefully to focus on using AI. But meanwhile, I would strongly encourage you to check out the updated Canva tutorial, which shows you 50 essential tips for beginners to use on Canva. And there is one part where I actually talk about how to actually use the magic media, the AI within Canva to create images. Okay, so check that out because it's updated because of all the changes that Canva has been going through. We've got new features, awesome features and all that. I feel like it was time to actually create a new Canva tutorial updated July 2024. So please check that out if you want to learn more about all the different features in Canva. Okay. Next question. What is the easiest way to come up with new ideas? What's the easiest way? Finding out from your audience. Having this habit or regular routine where you regularly invite your audience to tell you, to give you feedback, to even sometimes you don't even have to outwardly ask them for feedback. Sometimes it's just really being sensitive or paying attention to the questions that they ask. You know, if somebody asking one particular question, chances are there are other people who have this same question in their mind. It's just that they did not verbalize it. So pay attention to questions. Pay attention to different social media platforms that you're on. Sometimes it doesn't even have to be your particular audience. For example, if you're in certain groups, on Facebook groups, or whatever communities that you're in, and you see people asking questions, that is also an indication that there is a need for something. Because if they're asking questions, means there is an issue they're dealing with, there is a question, there is a problem, which warrants a solution. So that is how you use those questions to understand that there is a demand, and therefore you come up with a supply through creating a new product or offering a service to meet that demand. Okay, so it's really being on the ground, so to speak, having having a good idea of who your target audience is and what they need, and that is how you come up with new ideas. The other thing is you also want to keep your mind open to just have this, you know, like how some people say like manifesting, right? Like the more you think about it, the more how the universe will answer and give you all the ideas and stuff like that, right? So to me, it's about being constantly on the lookout for ideas. Like I feel like I don't run out of ideas because I'm always being sensitive to things. And sometimes it could just be like inspiration from anywhere, you know. So it could just be reading somebody else's email, seeing a subscriber write to me, telling me about something or asking me something, or paying attention to the chatter on my Facebook group. There are all these different places where it's what do you call that? Like a breeding ground for ideas and inspiration. But what you have to do is you have to open your mind to it and you have to pay attention to the details. Okay? So if you feel like, if you keep thinking that there is no way you're going to come up with ideas, then chances are there really isn't a way to come up with ideas. But if you are intentionally thinking that I want to think out of the box, I want to create stuff that meets the needs of my audience, then naturally you would be paying attention to the questions asked, the chatter in your community, and then coming up with the ideas. Okay, so back to having a great understanding of who your target audience is and what they need. Next question, how to use tools to cut creative time in making lead magnets, etc. without paying a ton of money. Templates. PLR templates. Well, I sell Canva templates with commercial use rights, and they're already nicely done up, which means that actually all you have to do is download it as a PDF, and then you can start selling in your own shop. Whether you're selling it or you're using it as a lead magnet, those are all possible. We do have Faith's Templates Vault, which has more than 140 sets of different Canva templates, planners, journals, business and marketing images, business and branding images and stuff like that. And we also have dozens of trainings for you to really help you use Canva templates easily, effectively, customize them quickly to cut creative time so that you have digital products up for sale super fast, and it's not expensive. Okay, so you can check that out in the video description. So definitely use templates. Actually, hiring freelancers is also possible. They are not too costly. Check out places like Fiverr or freelancer.com, if I remember those correctly. I'm not an affiliate of all those platforms, okay? But you can hire somebody to design something for you without paying a ton of money. Or using templates would be the best, okay? I hope that helps. Now, next question. You can save Canva planners as PDF files and then share the PDF with the customer. How does the customer use the planner on a smartphone? Are all planners designed just for printing? Oh, okay. So this is more like using a digital product rather than creating a digital product. Okay, there are different types of planners. Firstly, there is the printable planner, and there's also the digital planner. They are both delivered as PDF files. The main difference is that the digital planner usually has hyperlinked tabs, okay? Which means if I have a 300-page digital planner, I import it onto my tablet, my iPad, whatever tablet you're using, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna open it up in a PDF app, an application that allows you to open, read, and annotate on the PDF file. So some very common PDF readers or applications are like GoodNotes, okay, and PDF Reader, if I'm not wrong. But basically, you can Google and see what mobile applications are popular for using PDF digital planners. Okay, so what happens is if you have a digital planner, there are hundreds of pages, but they're hyperlinked tabs. So it just allows you to tap on a hyperlink, and it brings you from one section to another instead of swiping until your finger cramps up, okay, to swipe 300 over pages. So digital planners usually have hyperlinked tabs to help you navigate between different sections of the planner. But that is in a PDF file, and you import it into an application that allows you to write on it, okay, use a stylus and write on it. Now, the printable planner, on the other hand, even though it's also delivered as a PDF file, but the purpose of it is to be printed out. So people want to buy the digital copy because it's more affordable than buying a physical set of planner, and then they print it out at home. They can even mix and match different planners to create their own, rearrange the pages according to what they want. That is the beauty of buying a printable planner and then just printing it out and sorting it out on your own, okay? So so if it's printable planners, you're gonna print it out on paper, you can write it. If it's digital planners, you usually need a PDF reader on your application, on the tablet. Same thing on your smartphone, okay? You can open GoodNotes on your mobile phone as well. Okay, so if you need to search for other types of application other than GoodNotes, please Google that. So even on a smartphone, you can use a stylus, you can use a finger. It's just that if it's on a smartphone, it's probably like a really small screen size, so it's pretty hard to write, I think. What else do I want to say? Okay, so technically speaking, the printable planner, because it's delivered in a PDF file, it can also be used as a digital planner. All you have to do is, instead of printing it out, just open it up in an application on your mobile tablet or your mobile phone and start typing it or using your stylus to write in it, okay? So let me just sum that up. Both types of planners, the printable and the digital planners, are all delivered in PDF files. Digital planners tend to have a lot more pages with hyperlinked tabs, so you can jump from one section to another without swiping until your finger cramps. Printable planners, the intention is for the user to print it out and use it as a physical copy, okay? Next question, how do you upscale with creating more products, or do you decide to focus on other things like courses? Because I always question how it works with making money with YouTube videos. Okay, so this seems like different sections to this question. Let me talk about YouTube first. Now, same thing you could Google, because I'm not too sure what the current requirements are for you to monetize your YouTube video. If I remember correctly, what happened to me when I monetized. Okay, once again, this is Googleable. Okay, I'm just trying to say based on what I remember. I think it's about when you have 1,000 subscribers and/or 4,000 watch hours. I vaguely remember that there are different requirements for YouTube content creators living in different parts of the world. Okay, so Google how to monetize your YouTube channel. Okay, that will give you the current updated specific requirements that you need to monetize your YouTube. Okay, but in a gist, it also works like Google ad. Okay, right, where you write a blog post and then you have like Google AdSense, right? You write a blog post, you post your ads, and when people come onto your page, you get money. Okay, based on traffic. So same thing, same principle. When people, after you meet the minimum requirement to start monetizing your YouTube channel, when people watch your videos, that's how you start making ad income. Okay, now the other thing is, how do you upscale? I think upscaling and creating products might not necessarily, creating more products does not necessarily mean upscaling. To me, upscaling feels like, how do I expand my business? And it's not just more products, but strategically increasing the variety as well as the pricing of the products, right? Like, for example, in my own personal, in the business that I run, I create a wide variety of products. Okay, I've got membership programs, I've got coaching programs, I've got self-paced courses, I've got templates. Okay, so I've got workshops that are as affordable as $9. I also have coaching programs that cost like $5,000. So it's a wide range, yes, but it caters to different people at different levels of their needs as well as affordability. Okay, so scaling up, when I think about scaling up, to me is more about how I create more intermediate offers. So like, for example, if I'm creating beginner level courses, right? Upscaling would to me require me creating courses that cater to more advanced online entrepreneurs. And then also offering more premium services like one-on-one coaching. So there is a higher touch, there is more time investment, there is more customization, and therefore it warrants a higher price, and therefore I scale my business because of that. So it boils down to, once again, how well you understand your audience, right? Because you need to know who your audience is. Yes, I'm repeating what they need, what they're looking for, and therefore you can create the relevant products, right? At the specific price that you know your audience will actually be able to afford and are also willing to pay for. So then, so courses and YouTubes are really separate, but I did spend a good year creating and selling courses before I started making before I started a YouTube channel. Okay, so to me, my journey on YouTube was more like, I already know my courses sell. I already have built a good track record on creating and selling high quality courses that people buy. And then I thought, okay, I want to give back to my community by offering free Canva tutorials, and therefore I started the YouTube channel that mainly focuses on Canva tutorials as my way of giving back to the community, because I know that my people love using Canva, and I know that they love getting trainings from me. So now even better that they could get free trainings from me, right? And therefore I started YouTube. So yeah, you could do it differently however you want. But of course, the great thing is now YouTube is also generating organic traffic. So people search and find me on YouTube because they search for certain Canva tutorials, they find my channel, they like my trainings on YouTube, and then after that they join my email list, and then they go through and then they buy my courses. Okay, so once again, it's really boils down to how well you know your audience and what they need, and that will really help you decide what products to create, what kind of offers, what kind of services to offer, and in what kind of order. Okay, Wow, what's this? I'm just starting out in creating digital products. I'm becoming overwhelmed with the ins and outs of where to create, how to organize, Canva PowerPoint on the laptop, where to sell, how to price my products, how to connect purchasing to the site, where to store my items online. Well, you get the idea. What will be your top 16 tips and tools for the next up-and-coming digital sensation? Thank you for sharing your passion of creating with others. You have inspired me to try my knack of creating content. Thank you. Thank you for your kind words. It's a pleasure. In fact, it's such an honor and privilege to be a part of your online entrepreneurial journey, whether or not you're like watching this video right now on YouTube or reading my email newsletters or paid for my courses, right? Unfortunately, I don't think it's possible to kind of answer you 16 tips and tools. I would say step 1, okay? I do have a training called Nailing Your Target Audience. If I remember correctly, I think it's a 90-minute training. I know it sounds intense, but it's so important because I break it down exactly how do you go about deciding who your audience is? How do you actually go about? And through that target audience analysis exercise, you then come up with the products and services that you offer, that you want to offer. Okay, so it's like a brainstorm session. It's learning and then taking action to brainstorm. So it's not something I can teach in 30 seconds. So I would strongly encourage you to check out my training, okay? And I do have a signature program, which is called Faith's Quarterly Breakthrough. I run it about 3 times a year, sometimes as self-study versions, sometimes as live versions. The live rounds will include weekly office hours on Zoom where you can have a lot more hands-on guidance. The self-study basically is for you to just go through, okay? But step by step in 7 weeks, the self-study version, it will literally walk you through from how to create a product, how to package the product, creating your product banners, how to set up a sales funnel, how to price your products, how to actually set up a shopping cart, and then be able to put everything together and contribute to the giveaway that I host. I host an event so that my participants in that program, Faith's Quarterly Breakthrough program, can have a practical way of implementing what they've learned. Through my giveaway, I promote their stuff, they get real subscribers added to their email list, and that kickstarts their business. Okay, so it's really difficult for me to kind of just filter it down to 16, and I'm wondering why 16? Yeah, okay, it really requires a full program. I also think it's unfair for me to make you think that I can answer this question in 30 seconds. Yeah, I really don't think it's possible. But what I would say is you really want to start a strong foundation, and that begins with having a clear understanding of your target audience, okay? And there's also the question of even if let's say ChatGPT, right? Like it took the internet by storm, so to speak, and then after that people started coming up with trainings. Even if you had foreseen ChatGPT becoming a big thing in the internet scene, the question is, are you able to create products that meet that? In all honesty, I haven't been creating AI related trainings. But has my business suffered? No, because my business focuses on other things, not ChatGPT. So my point is, even if you know that something is up and coming, the question is, are you interested in it? Are you equipped to use that to create a product and service? Because it could be totally something that is not your passion. It could be something that you have absolutely no experience in. So then how do you actually create a product or offer a service based on that? Yeah, so, but what is big in my business is how fast I pivot. Yeah, so I would say, once again, I'm just trying to sum it up, yeah? have a very good understanding of who your target audience is, who you want to serve, and therefore be able to lead you to decide what kind of products and services can you create. Once again, can you create, right? It's not what somebody else can create, but what you can offer to meet the needs of your audience. And the other thing is, be ready to pivot, be ready to adapt, be ready to change, because that is how your business can thrive, all right? Next question. How do I decide what my first product or printable should be? Same. Back to, do you understand who your audience is? Who are you trying to serve, right? Okay, let me just try to give you as many examples as possible, maybe different niches, right? Let's say a travel blogger, right, who's been blogging. What should their first product be? I'm saying that it could be a travel packing checklist, something that's super simple, something that can be created like in less than 30 minutes, definitely. Check out my YouTube videos, okay? I've got different YouTube tutorials on Canva tutorials that teach you how to create standalone products like gift tags. Checklist is definitely one of them. Dated, undated planners, stickers, digital planners, all of that. Those walk you through from start to finish how to create a single product, okay? So watch, and implement, okay? So for example, like I said, the travel blogger might want to create a travel packing checklist as the first digital product. And then after that, a bigger product could be a travel planner, okay? Then let's say a food blogger might want to create, like a first product could be a meal planner. Something, when you say first product, it also makes me think that it should be a lead magnet. Firstly, it should be easy to create. It should be something small, something that doesn't take you too much time to create, right? Because you want to get it out there as fast as possible. Something that people are willing to maybe not yet buy, but to give you their email address so that you have them as your email subscriber. And then you can start nurturing the relationship with them as your email subscriber. So to me, when you ask me about the first product, in my mind, I'm thinking about the lead magnet. So something even like a one-page checklist can easily be an effective lead magnet because it solves somebody's problem really quickly, and they're more than happy to give you that email address. Now, of course, don't stop there. Have something else that is related that makes people want to buy. So that's what we call the bump offer or the upsell offer or the tripwire offer, something that you try to sell after people get the first product for free, the lead magnet. Okay, so I'm saying that let's say for a food blogger, the first product or lead magnet could be like a meal planner or a grocery checklist, a grocery list. So something that's really simple and kind of generic so that it has mass appeal, so that there's more people who want to get it. I have two websites. My first website is for mummiesbymummy.com, and that focuses on homeschool moms, and I created a lot of homeschool resources, mom planners, kids activities, mainly activities for preschoolers. So my lead magnet was actually a mom planner. Okay, so it's a dated calendar, so it's just monthly calendar, and that was my simple planner, simple product as my first product as a lead magnet. People signed it up for free, and the upsell product is actually, if I remember correctly, I think my mom planner had over 100 pages. So it was a lot more detailed. It included like budget planners, meal planners, daily, weekly planners in that comprehensive mom planner. Okay, so the simple basic first product would be the mom planner, the monthly planner, and then the more extended version would be a more comprehensive mom planner with all the different sections of the planner. So once again, you need to know who your target audience is and what they would like, what will appeal to them. Okay, so your first product, I would say, should have a lot more mass appeal and should help you draw as many of your target audience as possible. How do you choose a lead magnet idea that will be irresistible? Same thing. Who is your audience? What do they want? I can tell you what is irresistible unless I know who you're targeting, right? Like, okay, so I've got two different lead magnets for my old site. One, as I just mentioned, was the mom planner. Okay, so I used to write quite a number of blog posts and then use Pinterest marketing to draw traffic as well as Google SEO. So there were two main lead magnets. The mom planner would be on blog posts that are specifically addressing moms, like planning, home organization, as well as running a side hustle at home, right? And then the other one is kids activities. Yes, I'm still targeting moms, but those will be specifically on kids activities like Easter bingo cards, like Christmas coloring. So that lead magnet was actually a resource library, a free resource library. So I actually dumped in quite a number of different kids activity printables in that homeschool resource library. So for all my blog posts that talk about kids activities, the lead magnet was the free homeschool resource library. And that my email list exploded during COVID because everybody was stuck at home and everybody was looking for free resources online. And that was actually how my business kind of blossomed through COVID, and it basically met the needs of homeschool parents, basically parents looking for or caregivers looking for printable activities for the kids at home. So instead of just giving one, I didn't want to have to change out a sign-up form, a different email sequence every time for different blog posts, right? So which is why whether it's for the free 4th of July printables or the free Christmas coloring pages or free Halloween printables or free Easter gift tags or free Easter bingo, each of these different blog posts talking about kids activities, they all have the same lead magnet, which is the free homeschool resource library with dozens of homeschool printables inside. Okay, so that should be mass appeal. It should also be easy for you to implement, which is why, like I said, instead of giving different lead magnets for different blog posts, I kind of combined everything into a free resource library, and that resource library becomes my lead magnet, and that is irresistible to the moms or the caregivers or whoever who want to have free resources to print out for the preschoolers, right? So that is knowing the audience and what would be irresistible to them. So once again, you have to know who the audience is in order to decide what would be irresistible, okay? What products are good for the PLR or MRR market? Anything that sells. Now that I say it out loud, it sounds really silly. Okay, so I would say that kids printables, kids activities are great. Finance related, budget planners, spreadsheets, blogging related, blog planners, like website checklists, SEO checklists, planners. All these are actually great. Why? Because there is a market where people need to sell all these digital products, right? So even niches like homestead niches, it might not be a huge audience. It's probably bigger than I think. But even for that very, very specific niche, right? There are homestead bloggers who blog about, well, homesteading, farming, and what they want is not just ad income, they also want digital products to sell. So if you can create a template with commercial use rights that are catered for homestead bloggers, that is a market that you can target, right? If you want to target to help other mom bloggers, for example, who are interested in talking about kids activities, then well, you want to create kids activities templates that come with commercial use rights for them. Okay, or you want to target Etsy sellers who only sell Excel spreadsheets. Then you're creating different types of Excel spreadsheets with commercial use rights. So it really, really depends on who you're trying to target. Or you just want to sell coloring pages of all sorts. That could be kids coloring pages, adult coloring pages. Then you sell the coloring pages with commercial use rights, and that will be a market too. So I wouldn't say that there are very specific products that are good. The products that are good would be where there are actually existing markets where people need to sell or want to sell digital products. And therefore you can actually create the templates so that those people can use your templates to sell digital products to their audiences in a much shorter time. Okay? What are the most successful types of digital products in your PLR portfolio? I do mostly just lots of planners, different types of planners. I also do quite a number of seasonal products like Halloween planners, Christmas planners, Thanksgiving planners, Valentine's Day gift tags, Halloween activities, Easter bingo, Easter gift tags. The seasonal ones help because there is always a surge in seasonal traffic, people looking for, let's say, Easter gift tags or Easter bingo or Easter gift cards or like Christmas party invitations, Christmas gift tags. So every time a season draws near, people are Googling or searching online for these types of printables. So in that case, my PLR templates help because they meet the needs of the sellers who want to sell these type of products. So I would say the most successful types would probably be the seasonal products. Advice on offering some of my printables as physical in my Etsy shop. I don't think I'm the best person to answer this because I've never sold anything physical. I've only sold digital products, and I do have an Etsy store which brings in trickles of sales passively, but I am not actively running it, and that has never been the main driver of my business. So it's really up to you. I think it doesn't hurt, right, to have both a shop that sells digital printables as well as a shop that sells, let's say, POD. But I would think it's better to keep those stuff separate, just so that it helps. It's better for your Etsy store's SEO. And if it's physical, if it's POD, it's okay. You don't have to hold any inventory. But if you actually need to hold inventory, then I would definitely say choose digital than physical, because it's a different ball game, right? Having to carve out space for storage to take stock, to then deal with stuff like shipping and stuff like that. So I really think it's a totally two different games altogether. Digital, to me, is as easy as it gets because we do not have to hold inventory, no physical inventory, and I don't have to worry about shipping costs, right? I mean, like even for COVID and all the different mess that's going on around the world, shipping has actually been affected. So if you're selling anything physical, shipping's huge. But POD, in a way, you're not directly dealing with the shipping. Your POD supplier deals with the shipping, something like that. So you can definitely do both, but I would suggest that you might want to separate those in two different shops for SEO purposes. And the physical one might take up a lot more time and energy as well as physical space. So I actually think selling digital products is easier. How do I make PLR my own in a shorter amount of time? The easiest way is always to just change out the backgrounds. Delete all the graphics and add on your own digital papers or add on your own Clipart. It's super easy. That is the fastest. Check out my Canva tutorials. I think I have at least one specific tutorial where I took a friend's PLR template and customized it in real time. So you would see it is less than an hour. It's totally brand new or totally different from the original. Check that out. And I wouldn't even change the fonts, because changing fonts tend to mess up some kind of alignment, even though it's the same font size. Different fonts have they're actually sized differently, even though the font size number is the same. So I wouldn't even change the font. If you really, really want to change it super quickly, remove all the graphics, put in your own graphics. The simplest way, just replace it with a digital paper, okay, at the back. That's the fastest. I'm a food blogger, dessert specifically and baking. I'm earning revenue from ads on my website, but I would love to have some things to sell my audience, and I really need some ideas. I really don't like using AI for ideas. I feel like that's cheating. Any suggestion? I think I mentioned just now, like meal planners, grocery lists, affiliate marketing, the tools and resources that you use, measuring spoons, baking dishes, those are affiliate. But to me, I think, recipes, so digital products, printables, what do you call that? Recipe cards as well, even the blank recipe cards, seasonal planners to help people plan for parties like Thanksgiving dinner plan, Thanksgiving dinner meal plan, Christmas party meal plan, all these. And I really think for food, the seasons will really be helpful. I hope that helps. How do I create a course and stand out from the crowd? Okay, back to the example that I gave just now, Pinterest marketing. You don't have to stand out from the crowd. You just have to present your expertise. Now, I think when it comes to creating courses, I've created definitely more than 70 courses. And if I include even all the individual trainings that I do for different summits, then there's definitely more than 100. Not including the trainings on YouTube. So I'm not saying that my courses are outstanding, but I do teach based on my experience. And obviously I'm going to deliver it differently from somebody else, even if we're reading the same script per se, right? Because of my personality, because of my experience, because of my expertise, I can then create a course that is unique, right? And people will buy because they love what I offer. Right? Maybe they've been following me for some time. And once again, let's say I create a Pinterest marketing course that might not have been the first Pinterest marketing course that they come across, but they want to buy from me because they want to hear from my experience. So it doesn't have to stand out because, I mean, like, how do you identify standing out, right? But at the end of the day, I'm repeating again, at the end of the day is how well you know your audience. Okay, I did create and sell a Pinterest marketing course, and I sold it, and it sold well, and people bought it, not because it was mind-blowing or I don't know, like it's just because I basically told them, hey, this is what I did, these are the results I got. Do you want to learn how I got these specific results, right? I've got many courses that I create after trying and testing things that I do and work. Okay, like Golden Goose Membership Masterclass is how I teach how do you actually run a profitable membership. I've had like 8 different memberships before. I retired 4 and I continued running 4 and I added new ones. Why? Why did I do that? Why did I cancel my memberships and therefore and then come up with a new membership that worked so much better than the old ones? So I have learned from my mistakes and now it works, and therefore I teach based on my experience. Okay, I'm definitely not the only person who has a course teaching people how to create membership programs, but it is different because my experience is different and I'm teaching you based on my experience, what worked for me. Another one, passive income power emails. In December 2023, I spent a couple of weeks writing extended email automated sequence for about a month, and it worked. Like my email open rate went up, my email click rate went up, and I know what happened. I know how it worked, and therefore I teach the course to show you behind the scenes the exact open rate and click rate in my email service provider, and tell you the rationale behind it and how it can apply to your business. Okay, so it's not that these courses are mind-blowing. It really is just because I teach or I create a course based on my experience and expertise. And therefore, if somebody wants to have that kind of result or want to also grow that particular aspect of their business, then it makes sense to learn from me, especially if they already have some kind of experience with me, if they already trust me, like me, it's so much easier to be willing to buy that course. But most importantly is, again, do you understand who your audience is? What are they looking for? Are you able to teach based on your experience and expertise? I am unclear on the point of PLR. If the buyer is required to change the color, text, or design, why spend so much time making it look so good? Is it because people won't buy it otherwise? It just seems to me that if the original product looks great, people will use it as is and then sales will be diluted. No. Okay, so what am I saying no? You want to show people a nicely done up product, right? Because to me, people buy PLR because they struggle with not having great design skills. They struggle because they actually hold multiple jobs and they just want to run a sideline on the online space, and they don't have time to create the product. So they use templates, right? So it's because they want to save time. They don't want to hire somebody to design something specifically for them. It's actually cheaper to buy PLR, and therefore they buy the PLR. Or some people that they just aren't that good with that particular design platform, and so they buy the PLR template to help them save time. So it makes sense for the PLR template to look good so that people can use it as is. Okay, now the question is, do you really see the exact same product on Etsy? Do you see the exact same product when you just do a random Google? Unlikely, I think, because there are so many people selling different things. And even if two person sell the exact same, use the exact same product and sell them both as is, sell the product as is in different shops, their product title is going to be different, their product description is going to be different, their product banner is going to be different, the rest of their shop's SEO changes because they have different permutations of products in their shops, right? So the SEO ultimately is different, and therefore chances are when somebody searches for it, is really, I think, unlikely for somebody to come across the exact same product sold by two different people in a Google search. So, which is why I don't think the sales will be diluted. Okay? Yeah, because there are actually so many other variations in between. Yeah, so there are people who just want to use it as is, and there are also people who just want to change things up. So but it makes sense to make it look good because you actually want people to see how sellable it is, right? If it's like plain, of course there are people who sell minimalist planners and people who want to use minimalist planners. But if it looks so plain that it looks like it takes so little time to create it, then why would they buy the PLR from you, right? To me, somebody would only spend money to buy a PLR template if it saves them time. If I'm putting in money, I'm trying to buy time for myself, and therefore I don't have time to create a 40-page planner, and therefore I spend $27 on it because, well, I don't have time to create, or I don't have enough design expertise to create that planner that looks so sophisticated, and therefore I spend the $27. If something looks like it's just lined notes pages, which I can probably quickly figure it out on my own, especially after watching my Canva tutorial, then there is no need to buy a PLR, right? Why spend $12, $17, $27 for lined notes pages when I can easily create it on my own? So there is a reason why the design needs to look good, because the more sophisticated it looks, the more compelling it is for people to buy. What are some strategies to differentiate my products from competitors? Understanding your target audience. I feel like if I'm running this as a live training, I want to throw my mic to the people and say, hey, repeat after me. Understand your target audience, okay? So you are the differentiator, okay? Pinterest marketing course example again. Because you bring something different to the table. And that is why your products will be different, okay? Yes. I'm curious to know an effective way to make my initial offering. I'm busy creating products and I want to have several under my belt before I put them in my shop, but is it necessary? Back to what I said just now, nobody's going to see it the minute you publish your shop. Okay, fortunately or unfortunately, but that is true. That is true even for Etsy. The minute you publish your shop, there are not going to be like hundreds of people flocking to your shop right away. So don't worry about it. In fact, my personal take is that you should publish it as soon as possible. If you really want to have a minimum number, I would say maybe 2, so that you can at least have one product that you can give away for free, and then the other one is the upsell, okay, or at least something that people can see as related product. Okay, so I would say at least 2. A lot of my clients enjoy the product creation process so much so that they don't sell it. That they love the creation process so much that they're not selling. And then if you're not selling, there is no money. Then why are you creating if there's no money? If it's just a hobby, then I mean, it can be just a hobby, it's fine. But if your intention is to make money from your digital products that you create, then, well, you have to sell them, okay? So then my take is complete that sales cycle, which is create a product, list it, promote it. Create a product, list it, promote it. You want to complete that sales cycle, because if you don't complete that sales cycle, the sales are never going to come. Don't keep getting stuck in creating the products, okay? So I would say minimum, like 2. Just publish it. What parts of your product do or should you draw attention to when creating your product images and sales pages? Okay, so product images, digital product images, like printables, right? Let's say I have a 27-page planner. But if you were to check out my shop, most of my product banners showcase 8 pages. Okay, and how do I choose the 8 pages? The ones that look more interesting. I would probably not show that lined page of planner. I would probably show something that looks sophisticated, that looks more interesting, and that looks like I spent a lot more time and effort creating that. So you want to feature the best parts. Okay, yeah. So those will be the pages that I will feature on my product banner. And that would be what I would also be using on my sales page. Is that all? Yes, that is all. So if you enjoyed this video and you would love to work with me to build your online business, I would love to welcome you into my program, FBA Aspire. It is actually a 6-month group coaching program, super high touch, lots of hands-on coaching and guidance from me. And I would say that this is probably the most affordable coaching program for online entrepreneurs, okay? Especially designed for aspiring and beginner entrepreneurs. If you're struggling to make more than $500 a month, I do think that this program is created for you. Okay, so I will be committing my time to meeting you once a week on Zoom. There will be weekly office hours, and then once a month we're gonna have direct access to me on a one-on-one support through Voxer. Okay, so it's super, and you get access to 19 of my courses. Okay, for 6 months we'll work closely together to help you get your business off the ground. Okay, if you're interested to find out more, please go to faithsbizzacademy.com/FBA-Aspire, or fish out your camera phone, scan the QR code, and then you'll be brought to that same page where you'll find out a lot more details about what's in store for you in our FBA Aspire program. Now, I do hope that you like this video. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. I do read through the comments and answer them personally. And I would really, really appreciate it if you would also like, follow, and subscribe to my channel. And if you find this helpful, also share this with your business friends. Okay, thank you so much, and I will see you around.